Let's talk for a moment, Ben, about what happens now with the Rwanda programme. You've always been sceptical about it. I keep saying it's going to work. It's looking less and less likely at the moment, I have to say. But they're now telling us that there's been another case yesterday which was basically to postpone a hearing, to adjourn a hearing until at least October now, by the looks of it. So the hope that something might happen in June has now gone. The hope that something might happen in September has now gone. And it could well be, if anything happens in October, that it will be next year before anybody actually goes there. Meanwhile, we're seeing a £3 million a day hotel bill for asylum seekers, I think just this year alone. I presume that's on top of the £5 million we were already paying. It's just going on and on and on, isn't it?
That's just hotel bills, $3 million a day hotel bills. That's $1 billion a year on hotels. And you know, Mike, that whatever they tell us is a fraction of what they're actually spending. Look, I mean, the real problem with the Rwanda plan is that it is not border control. The real problem is that it's a policy for the deportation of illegal immigrants.
Yeah.
It's not a policy for border control. And the difficulty it faces is that under human rights, every individual's claim needs to be individually heard. So if you've got 30,000 people entering the United Kingdom illegally, you've got 30,000 independent cases that need to be heard to deport or to make a decision on whether to deport one or all of them. You can't do it through some kind of class action or some, broader principle that's being applied. And therefore, it's never going to be a significant deterrent. Even if they send, how many people can they send to Rwanda, Mike? Even if our courts suddenly became much more, for want of a better word, compliant. How many can we send? Hundreds?
Well, it was only
maybe
a few
thousands?
hundred. I think it was only a few hundred was the original plan, wasn't it?
Yeah, 130. We ended up with one on the plane, and the European Court of Human Rights, in my view, thankfully blocked the flight because it saves the Exchequer £400,000. But the real issue here is border control. And I heard the news just before I came on with you. There's a gentleman on it saying that actually Border Force and the Royal Navy are now just a taxi service. If you want a deterrent, you cannot have our Border Force and our Royal Navy being viewed by illegal smugglers and would-be illegal migrants as a free taxi service to the United Kingdom. That is the opposite of a deterrent. They'll take their chances in British courts. Of course they will.
Yeah.
And if anyone thinks ditching the European Convention of Human Rights gets us over the line, it doesn't.
No.
Our own legal system is going to protect these people. And this is precisely what I mean about taking back genuine control, being prepared to, I'm going to be misquoted on this, I'm sure, but apropos what we were discussing before, being prepared to move the goalpost for British national interest.
Yeah.
We have left the European Union. We are an independent sovereign state. As part of that, a fundamental part of that, we have to control our borders. There is only one way to deal with these migrants, and that is to push them back into French water, to refuse them safe passage, to push their boats back into French water. And if they jump out of their boats, which is what Border Force claim they do, we either do not rescue them or we field a whole load of Rwandan boats. We can finance these boats for Rwanda because I know, as people have repeatedly told me, Rwanda does not have a coastline.
I know. They always say that, right? They go, oh, how stupid is Ben Habib? He thinks it's on the coast. We know it's not on the coast, guys, OK? Don't waste your tweets.
But put a whole load of British financed Rwandan flagged boats in the North Sea and they can rescue these people
but also,
and take them directly to Rwanda.
All you've got to do, Ben, is look at the footage that we're seeing as you were speaking there of these boats. I mean, this is an industrial scale invasion by people smugglers who have got money to make and who are not going to be put off by some ludicrous bloke wearing a couple of epaulets on his shoulders telling them to go back the other way. They're not interested. These boats that they're coming on are industrial scale smuggling operation boats. They're carrying now more and more people. They're more and more... I mean, the idea of describing them as small boats is now ridiculous. It's redundant as a phrase. These are not small boats. These are not like the way they used to come across. No. When you get, some people who were trying to, row their way across with some spades inside a child's paddling pool. That's not what's going on here. What's going on here is mass movement of people in their thousands to live in a country illegally from which they will never be sent away.
Absolutely. In hotels, being given pizza, being given food supplements because the pizza diet's not that good. I don't know if you read that. They're now getting vitamin tablets, courtesy of the Exchequer. I mean, they're treated incredibly well when they get it. So, moving rapidly on, if ever anyone accuses us of being xenophobic or institutionally racist, for goodness sake, look at the treatment these people get. And all the voices in Parliament aren't about stopping these people coming across. Pretty's a lone voice. The majority of the people are basically talking about ways of giving them safe passage, alleviating the problems that these illegal migrants have. For goodness sake, we can have that debate. We can listen to their concerns. But in the first instance, we've got to take control of our borders, and we've got to have a secure United Kingdom. At the heart of a government's obligation is the defense of the realm. That starts with your borders. We are, as you said it, Mike, we're being invaded.
Yeah.
And, it's 30,000 is what we know of per annum. That's what we know of. And again, you and I know the figure's going to be much higher than that.
Of course it is. Absolutely right. Ben, great to talk to you as ever. Thank you very much indeed. Ben Habib, Chairman of Brexit Watch.